Welcome back to our channel, folks. Today, we have an incredibly captivating topic to discuss: Donald Trump, America's most controversial president. Love him or hate him, there's no denying that Donald Trump's time in the White House was marked by a whirlwind of events and polarizing opinions. We're diving deep into the controversies, policies, and the legacy of the 45th President of the United States. So, grab your popcorn and let's get started. Donald Trump, without a doubt, stands out as the most controversial American president in recent history. His presidency from 2017 to 2021 was marked by polarizing policies, fiery rhetoric, and unprecedented events that captivated the nation and the world. In this article, we will delve into the life, business ventures, political career, and tumultuous presidency of Donald Trump, exploring the reasons behind his status as a profoundly divisive figure. Early life. Donald John Trump, the 45th President of the United States, was born on June 14, 1946, at Jamaica Hospital in Queens, New York City. He was the fourth child of Fred Trump, a German immigrant real estate developer, and Mary Ann McLeod Trump, an immigrant from Scotland. Trump grew up in Queens with his older siblings Mary Ann, Fred Jr., Elizabeth, and younger brother Robert in the Jamaica Estates neighborhood. For his early education, Trump attended the Q Forest School and later the New York Military Academy from age 13. In 1964, he started at Fordham University and transferred to the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania in 1966, earning a Bachelor of Science in Economics in May 1968. Notably, in 2015, Trump's lawyer Michael Cohen threatened legal action against Trump's colleges, high school, and the College Board if they released his academic records, causing controversy. During the Vietnam War era, Trump received 4 student draft deferments while in college. In 1966, he was initially found fit for military service, but later received a 1Y classification in October 1968, which indicated a conditional medical deferment. In 1972, he was classified as 4F due to bone spurs, permanently disqualifying him from military service. Business ventures. In 1968, Donald Trump started working at his father's real estate company, Trump Management. This company owned middle-class rental housing in New York City's outer boroughs. Notably, Trump Management faced accusations of racial segregation in its rental practices during this period. In 1971, Trump assumed the role of president of the company and began using the Trump Organization as an umbrella brand for his various business ventures. The Trump Organization became a key vehicle for his real estate and business activities. Over the years, Donald Trump faced financial challenges, and between 1991 and 2009, several of his businesses filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. These bankruptcies included notable properties and companies such as the Plaza Hotel in Manhattan, the casinos in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and the Trump Hotels and Casino Resorts Company. Trump's financial ups and downs, including his experiences with bankruptcy filings, are a part of his business history and have been the subject of significant public interest and discussion. Trump's entry into politics. Donald Trump's entry into politics in 2015 was a remarkable and unexpected shift in his career. Prior to his candidacy, he was primarily known as a real estate mogul, television personality, and business figure. His decision to run for the Republican nomination for President of the United States took many by surprise and marked a significant turning point in his life. One of the driving factors behind Trump's decision to enter politics was his belief that the political establishment was not effectively serving the interests of the American people. He tapped into a sentiment shared by many disenchanted voters who were frustrated with the status quo and felt that their concerns were not being adequately addressed by the existing political leadership. This anti-establishment message and his promise to make America great again resonated with a significant portion of the electorate and contributed to his success in the 2016 presidential election. Trump's unconventional and often polarizing style of politics set him apart from traditional politicians and played a pivotal role in his political journey. Presidential campaign and victory. Donald Trump's entry into the 2016 presidential campaign was marked by his fame, provocative statements, and unconventional approach to politics. His strategy relied on generating an extraordinary amount of free media coverage, which significantly boosted his standing in the Republican primaries. Trump was known for adopting the phrase truthful hyperbole, which was coined by his ghostwriter Tony Schwartz to describe his public speaking style. His campaign statements were often opaque and suggestive, and a notable number of them were found to be false. Some media outlets, such as the Los Angeles Times, noted that Trump made false statements more routinely than any major candidate in modern presidential politics. During his campaign, Trump openly expressed his disdain for political correctness and frequently accused the media of bias. His unfiltered and direct communication style appealed to a segment of the electorate that felt alienated by traditional politics. Trump announced his candidacy in June 2015, initially not being taken seriously by political analysts. However, he rapidly climbed to the top of opinion polls, becoming the frontrunner in March 2016. He was declared the presumptive Republican nominee in May. Throughout the campaign, Trump faced off against Hillary Clinton, who led him in national polling averages. However, Trump's position improved, and his campaign gained momentum as the election drew nearer. In mid-July, he selected Indiana Governor Mike Pence as his vice presidential running mate, and they were officially nominated at the 2016 Republican National Convention. The 2016 presidential campaign featured 3 presidential debates in September and October. Notably, Trump twice refused to commit to accepting the result of the election, a move that generated significant controversy and discussion. Trump's 2016 campaign was marked by its unconventional and often divisive rhetoric, and it ultimately led to his election as the 45th President of the United States. Controversial policies and actions. The Trump presidency, which began in January 2017, was marked by a series of contentious policies and actions that ignited intense debates and deepened political divisions in the United States. Some of these policies included the travel ban, border wall construction, and the withdrawal from international agreements like the Paris Climate Accord. The travel ban. One of the earliest and most polarizing policies of the Trump administration was the travel ban, which targeted several Muslim-majority countries. Proponents argued that it was necessary for national security, while opponents viewed it as discriminatory and unconstitutional. The ban faced multiple legal challenges and went through several revisions, but it remained a symbol of the administration's tough stance on immigration. Border wall construction. The construction of a border wall along the U.S.-Mexico border was another contentious issue. Supporters saw it as a crucial step in addressing immigration and security concerns, while critics decried it as costly, ineffective, and emblematic of an unwelcoming immigration policy. The wall became a symbol of the broader debate over immigration reform. Withdrawal from international agreements. The Trump administration's withdrawal from international agreements, including the Paris Climate Accord and the Iran nuclear deal, raised questions about America's commitment to global cooperation. Supporters argued that these actions protected U.S. sovereignty, while critics contended that they damaged diplomatic relationships and hindered global efforts to address climate change and nuclear proliferation. Immigration policies and rhetoric. Trump's rhetoric and policies regarding immigration, particularly family separations at the border and the recession of the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals (DACA) program, drew significant criticism. Detractors saw these policies as inhumane and harmful to vulnerable populations, while supporters believed they were necessary for border security and upholding the rule of law. Responses to key issues. The Trump administration's responses to issues like climate change, healthcare, and gun control reflected a stark ideological divide. On climate change, Trump rolled back environmental regulations and withdrew from international agreements, drawing rebuke from environmentalists and many world leaders. Healthcare policy changes, including attempts to repeal the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, were met with resistance from those who saw them as jeopardizing access to healthcare for millions. Trump's approach to gun control also divided Americans, with advocates for stricter measures clashing with those who favored Second Amendment rights. The impeachment trials. The presidency of Donald Trump was marked by two historic impeachment trials, each contributing to heated debates surrounding accountability and justice. The first trial in 2019 focused on allegations of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress, while the second in 2021 revolved around Trump's involvement in the Capitol riot. Both trials ultimately ended in acquittal, deepening divisions and raising questions about the impeachment process and its outcomes. First impeachment trial. The 2019 impeachment trial of Donald Trump revolved around allegations of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Trump was accused of pressuring Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden and his son Hunter in connection to the 2020 U.S. presidential election. The Senate acquitted Trump in February 2020 with a majority of senators voting along party lines. This outcome triggered discussions about the impact of partisanship on impeachment and whether the Senate's decision truly upheld accountability or was influenced by political factors. Second impeachment trial. In 2021, Donald Trump faced his second impeachment trial for incitement of insurrection in connection with the January 6th attack on the U.S. Capitol by his supporters, attempting to overturn the 2020 election results. The Senate acquitted Trump in February 2021, with some Republican senators voting to convict, but failing to reach the necessary two-thirds majority for conviction. This outcome sparked debates on the boundaries of free speech and incitement, as well as the effectiveness of the impeachment process in holding former presidents accountable for their actions while in office. The populist leader. Trump possessed a charisma that captivated a significant portion of the American population. His ability to connect with his base was evident in his fiery speeches and passionate rhetoric. His plain-speaking, no-nonsense approach appealed to those who felt disillusioned by what they perceived as the political establishment's insecurity. Trump's unwavering confidence in his positions and policies resonated with those who were looking for a leader unafraid to challenge the status quo. His America First mantra and promises to make America great again struck a chord with voters who felt their interests had been neglected. Trump's Twitter account became a central element of his presidency, allowing him to communicate directly with his supporters and the broader public. He used the platform to make policy announcements, offer opinions on various issues, and even engage in online feuds with political rivals and critics. While Trump's unfiltered style endeared him to many of his supporters, it also polarized the nation. His tweets and off-the-cuff remarks frequently ignited fierce debates, with critics accusing him of sowing division and undermining decorum in the office of the presidency. Racial and social issues. During Trump's presidency, police brutality and racial injustice gained widespread attention, notably with the killing of George Floyd, sparking nationwide protests and fueling the Black Lives Matter movement's demand to end racial profiling and police violence. Simultaneously, the resurgence of white supremacy and extremist groups garnered attention, as Trump's remarks on race and extremism fueled debates. Critics accused him of not forcefully condemning white supremacists, particularly after the deadly Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville, Virginia in 2017. Trump's tenure also witnessed a surge in protests and social movements, both in support of and opposition to his policies. Notable examples include the Women's March, protests against the travel ban, and rallies for gun control reform. These events exposed deep societal divisions, cutting across racial, social, and political lines, intensifying the long-standing polarization in American society on matters of governance, identity, and the role of government. The 2020 election and aftermath. In the lead-up to the 2020 election and the immediate aftermath, Donald Trump and many of his supporters raised allegations of widespread election fraud. These claims primarily revolved around mail-in voting and the integrity of the election process in several key battleground states. Trump campaign launched a series of legal challenges in an attempt to overturn the election results. These lawsuits alleged irregularities and fraud in vote counting processes. While some cases made their way to court, the vast majority were dismissed due to a lack of evidence of systemic fraud. The controversy surrounding the election results led to a series of protests and demonstrations. Trump supporters, echoing his claims of election fraud, organized rallies in various states. At the same time, those who supported Joe Biden celebrated his victory. The most alarming incident during this period occurred on January 6, 2021, when a mob of Trump supporters stormed the U.S. Capitol during the certification of the electoral vote count. The attack resulted in violence, injuries, and damage to the Capitol building. It marked a dark and unprecedented moment in American history. Peaceful transition of power. Despite the turmoil, the democratic institutions of the United States prevailed. On January 20, 2021, Joe Biden was inaugurated as the 46th President of the United States, and a peaceful transition of power occurred as mandated by the Constitution. Biden's inauguration ceremony was held under heightened security measures, reflecting the tense and polarized political climate. Donald Trump's presidency will be remembered as one of the most contentious periods in American history. His unapologetic and divisive style of leadership left an indelible mark on the nation. The legacy of America's most controversial president remains a topic of discussion and debate. If you enjoyed this journey through the tumultuous years of Donald Trump's presidency, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell. And as always, keep the discussion respectful in the comments section below. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you in the next video.